Hello, everyone. Hi, Debbie, Jean. I actually have another card that I created yesterday, and I think I'm going to go live with that one probably next week whenever I get live. I just want to pull my iPad up really quickly so I can watch your comments as they pop up. So I went back and found my video for this card, and it is hilariously funny because apparently I made a whoopsie, but I thought I would make another one in updated colors. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Rach. Come on, Rach. Where are you? Well, I'm live on YouTube, but I can't find myself. Maybe I'm not on YouTube. Am I on YouTube? I think I'm on YouTube, right? There it is. Couldn't find it. Sorry. All right. Let me turn that down so it's not annoying. Okay. So this card is super simple. There is very minimal scoring. The only thing I did was when I made my test sample for the inside, I goofed it up just a little bit. The point is off, but we'll fix that by rescoring that correctly for the second one. Great part is you could use this for any color scheme that you wanted to. The only other thing I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of fiddling with is the tassel, but that shouldn't be terrifically difficult. I did find a couple of current stamp sets that I thought would be great. So we have a really nice, just a very plain congratulations and inspired thoughts. And I thought there's probably lots of grandparents potentially sending things to their grandkids. So this is a really nice congratulations. And then you could put best grandkid ever or grandson or granddaughter, depending on which one you want to do, or just so proud of you would work. I also thought you're absolutely amazing would go super well with the congratulations. So that's from Color and Contour. You could also do You Can Do This from Forever Fern, or if you have Waves of Inspiration, You're So Totally Awesome. I think any of those things would work really, really well. I think I'm going to go with the congratulations, so proud of you. So I'm going to put the rest of them on the side. Now I'm going to show you one thing really quickly. So this is a really, really easy card. You can actually make 2 of these out of a full sheet of cardstock. This is using Tahitian Tide, which I thought would be really nice. But I'm also going to show you how to do it on a piece of Starry Sky, because I figured it would be just as easy to show you. So I'm just going to grab a full sheet of that. So I really like Starry Sky. Now, depending on what your school's colors, if you wanted to go that route, you could also do that. But I'm going to make a second insert, and then we'll just finish both of these cards. So this does fit in a regular envelope. These are the clear envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sells, which is how I store my envelopes, and it does fit in there. These are the same size as if you did a regular mailing envelope. So to get started, we'll finish this one after. We'll do them all at the same time. So I have a full sheet of cardstock, 8.5 by 11. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut this in half at 4 1/4. So then you could have 2. I'm going to put this one away for now. Then you're going to score this in half at 5 1/2. Okay. And you're going to trim this down. It doesn't really matter which side because you're trimming it down, but you're going to trim it down to 9 3/4. So if you do have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it's really handy because this little thing swings out. If not, use what you have. I'm going to pull this piece. This is an extra piece. So I'll say this is the complicated part, but honestly, it's really not that complicated. So you can do this a couple ways, but I'm going to put a little pencil mark on here just so you can see. So what you want to do is you're going to score this in several places at 2 1/8. And I say score only to basically make a little indent. See if you can see this here. But before we did this, I made a little tiny indent here and here. And then you can also kind of flip it over to the other side. You can see the indent there. And then you're going to have one at the top. But it's really pretty simple once you put this together. So what we're going to do is we're going to move your cutting blade. You don't want to cut. So we have the folded side of the card, and we're going to feed it in, and we're going to put it at 2 1/8, which is 2 marks past the number 2, okay? So the first mark is 16th, the second is 8th. So you're going to put it at 2 1/8, and then you're going to just take your scoring blade, and you're going to kind of just run it up against the edge. And what you're going to get is a little divot in there, and then you'll just do the same from the bottom. You're going to fold it, so honestly, you're really not going to see it, but you don't want to go all the way across. Mine is a little far. You just want like a little etch in. And honestly, for me back here, it's good enough that I can see it. If it's not, you could flip it over and do it again, but you don't have to. Then you're going to open it up. So you have the long bottom part of your card and the short top, and you can do the same thing. So on the short top, you're going to line it up once again at 2 1/8, just like that, and just make just a little score here. That one was just a little too light. I think I underestimated the scoring spot. There we go. So we have a mark here. So top, sides, and then lower sides. And from here, all we're really doing is scoring, okay? Now, if you don't have, which this makes it super easy with using a track, because you're going to line a top and a bottom part up. If you don't have a track, what you can do is you can just use an old-fashioned ruler, and I'll show you what I mean, because I did it before. So for those of you that may not have a trimmer, I'll do it this way, because I did it before the other way, but this is equally simple. Now, I do have a stack of grid paper here, so that would work as a cushion, but it almost works just a little bit better if you have a little bit of a foam. So I'm going to just use a regular clear ruler because it's easier to see, and this may be a little bit difficult for you, but what we're doing is we have a mark here and here, and we have a mark here and here, and we're just creating a crisscross on those. So I'm going to look just to make sure I don't goof it up. When you're looking at this in person, you can see these much easier. Oh, and I forgot, I have a pencil. That's not going to help me. Where's my stylus? Let me just pull this out. Oops, wrong one. Forgot. Oh, Rachel, where is it? I keep forgetting I moved that one out of the way. Oh, I have one in my Simply Scored. I'll use that one for now. So you do need a stylus. Now, I would say to go with the wider end because you don't want to put a super deep divot in it. So going to go with the fatter stylus tip. And again, what I'm doing is lining this up. I'm going to turn this way. Top to bottom. And then I'm going to just make a score mark. Actually, maybe I do want the thinner one. Okay, so we have a score line there, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to score from top to bottom here. And you are going to need your trimmer for the other portion of this. So if you do have a trimmer, it is easier. But I will show you that if you don't have a trimmer, there's another way you can do it. Make sure that's the top and the bottom. Okay, so that is your crisscross. So this was originally your fold. Now what you're going to do is just crease these, okay, both ways. You are going to want to hit this with your bone folder eventually, but you're going to fold these in, and there is your flat piece, okay? Now, I'm going to definitely hit this with my bone folder. Now, the only thing we have to do now is the points, and essentially for this, all we're doing is just trimming these off. So, 2 ways to do this. Again, I'm just going to show you really quickly. If you want, what you can do is you're going to line up this piece measurement here with this one here, and you can do that really simply by lining these two things up on your trimmer, just like so. I'll show you for this first one. Okay, so you're going to just cut that piece off. If for some reason you don't, the other thing you can do is take your ruler and you're going to line up the tip and that score mark. Now what I'm going to do just to make this easier to show you is I'm going to just draw a pencil line. So if that's the case and that's what you had to do, you can also just grab your scissors to say maybe you don't necessarily have the trimmer, and cut that piece off. Okay, and then this goes down just like so. Now, once I'm finished with this, I'm going to move this off to the side. I do like to hit this with my bone folder just so it really gets a nice crease. Okay, and then I'll do these upside down. They tend to crease a little bit better if you don't have both flaps. But there's your card piece. So this measures 3 inches square. So if we're going to do a layering piece, which I'm going to grab that, I'll show you what to do. And then you do want a piece on the inside. So we're going to see if we can use this for both of our outside pieces. So let me put this out of the way, and I'll show you that white panel as well. So if we have 3 inches square, depending on what you want it to be, I'm going to go with 2 7/8. And I'm just having a layered look. Well, you know what? That one actually needs to be a little bit smaller because I'm thinking of the top piece. So we'll go with 2 3/4. Sorry about that. I take that back. 2 3/4. Our other layer will be 2 7/8. So that will be for 1. See if we can get this out of here. 2 3/4. All right, so the black portion, which would be the cap, would be 2 3/4 square. Okay, now if you wanted a white layer in between, or if you wanted a color, you could do, I mean, it's pretty much endless of what you want to do. So for this one, I actually had 3 different ones for the layering. So what we'll do with this is, we'll go with, that was 2 7/8. I almost feel like that might be just a little bit too narrow. Let me see. No, that'll be good. So now we're going to move to 16ths. So that would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2 13 16ths. If you don't want to be that mathy, you certainly don't have to be. It's going to be the small hash mark after 3/4. See if I did that correctly. So it's going to be a really thin white layer, and then we'll do a color layer after that. I don't think I can get 2 of those out of the same. Maybe I can. Let's see. See if this works. Nope, too short. Wah, wah. We'll use that for some decoration for something else. And then I'm going to show you this last one. And I think I'm going to put on the Tahitian Tide. I imagine that would be something that would be a little bit, if you're going to go with Tahitian Tide, maybe Tahitian Tide and navy would be cool. I mean, granted, you could do these to your school colors, and if you want them to be a little bit thicker of a layer, you absolutely could do that too. Let me just find a little scrap piece here. Do navy. For 1, I'm going to just cut this. This is just a half sheet. And then I said I wanted 2 7/8. We'll go with 15 16ths. So 2 15 16ths. That way we'll be able to see a little bit more with the navy. I'll layer those up. And then this will layer on here. I don't know, I might end up cutting this down just a smidge more, the black, but we'll leave that for now. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the inside panel. Okay, so for this one, I did measure this ahead of time, and I had already trimmed this down to be 4. The mistake I made, because it is just slightly askew, you can see here, is I measured it at 2 1/8 instead of 2. So to do the same thing for this, all you're going to do is mark it at 2. So instead of going with 2 1/8, you're going to go with 2. And I'll do this one on the trimmer so you can see. And then same, I'm going to mark at the top and the bottom with 2. And it's a little bit harder to see on the white, but it's still, well, this one I missed. It's still enough. I always miss the top one. I think for the top, I think it goes down farther than it does, because I forget that little divot doesn't show up. So I have my marks here, 2 inches, and all I'm going to do is trim down on each side, okay? So I'm going to do that with my trimmer. So here's my spot, 2 inches, and right here is 2 inches. So they're lined up pretty well. And then same for this one, so 2 inches is here, and pretty much just to the point. That should be better. Okay, now let's take a peek. This one should be perfectly even. Voila, I did it. So I probably could go back and fix that one if I wanted to, but it's okay. So this is what your inside is going to lay is going to look like. So 4 by 5 1/4, and then you're going to mark it at 2 and trim it in. Okay, so we're going to layer these pieces together. I'll use my little dilapidated one on this one. And I still need one more layer for my Starry Sky piece. And Starry Sky is a beautiful blue, but it's also kind of like a purpley blue. So I think just to make something stand out, and I'm going to go back, I am going to do a little bit of retrimming just because I'm being a little goofy. And I have unlimited paper and you guys don't, so you don't have to do this. And I shouldn't say unlimited. That sounds very snotty, because I am certainly not getting free paper. Let me put it to you that way. I'm going to go ahead and just trim this down. And I'm going to do, I'll put this away when I'm done. I'm going to do, let's see. I feel like 7/8 almost might be a little bit too tight. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go back. I think I did this one at 2 7/8. I think I'm going to do this at, no, I did 16ths. That's what it was. Yeah, I'm going to take this down to 2 7/8 square. Okay, and I'm going to do the same for this one. Hi, Kathy. And Kathy. Kathy S. Kathy with a K and Kathy with a C. How's everybody doing today? We're definitely having some rain here in Maryland again. So Rainbow Stamper and I went and bought some vintage games for our gaming systems, and I did find that there's actually a place, and this sounds crazy, but there's a place that you can send your Atari paddles in. That's perfect. I'm going to do it like that. And they will repair them for you. Who knew? So I'm waiting to, that looks nice. That'll be this layer. I'm waiting to hear back from this gentleman that I sent an email to and see what he says about it. All right, I'm going to cut this down. So this one was, here, we'll go with that. We'll go with 3/4. I think I'm going to end up cutting my black layer down just a little bit less than 3/4. So we have white. And luckily I'm going smaller because you can't add back to paper, but you can take away. So that was 3 3/4. So I'm going to go with 2 5/8 square for the black portion. And he got a game for his, oh my goodness, I can't even think what it's called. Xbox. But I'm talking like an original Xbox. And then we got another game for my Super Nintendo. A game that I thought we had, but I think some point someone borrowed it and it just didn't get returned. So luckily they still have them around, which is nice. All right, let me see. What did I do for this one? This was 7/8. I'm going to go to 3/4 for this. All right, and all we're going to do after this is just do a little bit of stamping. Kind of finish these up. We had a few really beautiful days. And then it was kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to say that spring came back because it's not that cold, but it's definitely a little bit chillier. I think I wanted to go with this. We'll see what that looks like. So I know there's our county school around here is just wrapping up, so they're not done yet. However, the seniors have graduated and the 8th graders, all that has passed, but you still have a couple people who are still in school. I'm sure they're probably ready for summer break. Today is their last day, so that's good at least. So now all we're going to do is put all this stuff together. You have your original Atari. Oh my goodness. Black Angus was your favorite. My favorite was Wizard of War and Space Dungeon. And I also, my all-time favorite game on there was Blueprint. I don't know if you ever played that. You had to get all these pieces and put them together before this little monster at the top tried to steal the girlfriend or something or other. But I'll send you the link, Karen. It's an eBay person. You ship him your controller and apparently he cleans it and puts it back together, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and layer these pieces together. Now these are a little bit tight, and I know not everybody likes layering things this tight of a border. So if you don't, you can certainly cut yours so they have larger than a 1/16 inch border, but I'm okay with it. And I know the other day some people were telling me where some of my stamp sets came from, but I can't recall what they said. So if you want to go back and watch that other video, there were some good ideas. I did pull out a few newer ones in case maybe you're new to Stampin' Up, but if you have something already, please use what you have. Unless there's like a dire need that you have to buy something new, but I've been trying to go along with the use what you have pattern here. So I'm trying to think, I think that navy's a little bit too dark. I think I'm gonna go with the green on this one, and then we'll go with the navy, yeah, on the Tahitian. Because even though this is black and then you have navy blue, it's a little bit dark, I still think it looks better. The navy is almost too dark to show up on the Starry Sky. So we're going to stamp these, and then we'll put them in. Let's see. Let's go with this while we have it. So that won't be there, here and there. And what did I do? Here it is. I was going to say, what did I do with my stamps? Here they are. So we'll do congratulations. And Christian was asking me, he said, so who graduates? I mean, does everybody graduate? Does second grade graduate? And I said, no, you just kind of move to the next grade. So I don't know if he was somehow thinking he was going to get some sort of a party that he didn't know about for his second grade to third grade transition, which I kind of found hilarious. But I was like, no, not really, buddy. So I'm going to do my congratulations. And let me make sure this is straight because I don't feel like it is. There we go. That one's in navy. And why don't we, you know what, just for a little bit of contrast, I don't know what this is going to look like. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do So Proud of You in Parakeet Party. So that was, and the Parakeet navy and the Tahitian, that's a pretty good color combination. Granted, I know you can't see quite as much of the navy on there, but I still think it's a pretty cool color combination. And then I am going to stick with still. I'll do the So Proud of You on this one here with the Starry Sky. And then maybe we'll just do the bottom in Starry Sky. Let's see. Let's try that again. We'll see which one looks slightly better. My stamping's a little crooked. I think that one's better. All right, we have, so again, that was Parakeet Party. I'm going to do Starry Sky. So I know I stamped in navy, but Starry Sky is pretty dark, so I'm not cleaning my stamp. But make sure you clean yours. Oh, I really like that color. Nice color. I'm glad we have these new, I don't know if you want to call them purples or blues or whatever you want to call them, but they really are nice colors. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here. I'm going to have to locate that stamp that has a graduation cap in it because I'm sure some of you may still have it. And it's a really cute stamp. I don't think it was from a paper pumpkin, but I can't really quite remember what it was. This would also make an equally cute, except we'd have to probably fix its scoring because this looks like a house. If you made like a house card so it looked like it was the front and you could decorate it with windows and stuff. No, might be onto something there. What do you guys think? I'm going to just give this one more good press. And then we're going to put this onto the front. And the only thing we have to do still, and I do want to make sure I put a good amount of glue on here, is make our cap. Okay. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to keep this down. That way when I actually adhere my cap, it's kind of in the center. Oh, that one's just a teeny bit tight. Okay, so there's our two cards. So the only thing we need is this. So I just have some baker's twine, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to cut off a length. I don't really know exactly what length this is. And you can do this kind of a couple different ways. So if you unwind your baker's twine, you can actually pull it. Hold on, I'm not fibbing, I swear. You can pull it apart. And I feel like this almost gives you more of a tassel kind of look than it being a big fat piece. All right, so we're just going to pull this apart. Might be able to actually use this same one for both. Ironically, the funny part is I got an email from school today telling us what supplies we can buy for next year, which is almost just as hilarious. So I'm going to just take this piece, but I guess in the way that it is today, it's probably better to be prepared, right? So I kind of wrapped this around a couple times. I didn't really get too crazy with it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop my... Oops, I'm going to loop this around. Oh, goodness, Rachel. And I'm going to tie just to hold it in place. I'm sure there's got to be an easier way to do this. Speaking of, so I was watching the other videos, and it made me laugh because, first of all, somebody called me organized, which was hilarious. I believe it was Amy, so God bless her for saying that, because I still am not organized. And then I'm actually going to take the longer of these two pieces. One is thinner, one is longer. And I'm going to wrap this around because I was kind of trying to create that like tassel-esque loop at the top. I'm going to go one more time. And so that was making me laugh because as someone was telling me I was organized and I was kind of laughing at it, I also knocked a pile of stuff over. So I guess I'm basically still just as organized as I was back then, which is kind of funny. So I just cut the loop out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of trim these so they're like slightly around the same. And you can fan it out. So you can have bigger, smaller, I guess just depending on what you want to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this on with a glue dot. And one other thing I want to tell you, this has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with what we're doing, but a friend of mine was telling me that she got all of her Stampin' Blends organized. So another demonstrator friend of mine, Tina, I think it's Tina's Crafty Ink Spot. She made labels for the Stampin' Blends, and you punch them out with a a punch, of course, that's unfortunately is retired. But man, what a cool idea. Tina, that must have taken a heck of a lot of work. But if you're looking to organize your Stampin' Blends, head over to her website, because I'm fairly certain she has them on there still for sale. Now, they are not all of them because ones that are retired are not on there, but you can kind of, if you have really tiny handwriting, I think I'm going to try to make this next one a little bit bigger. If you have really tiny handwriting, because this is much more of a tassel than this, you could probably fit it in there. So, oh look, I finished a spool. Isn't that great? Now I can order something else. There's got to be some people in here laughing. The other thing that I was laughing at for this video is, for the prior video, I should say. Oh, that took a long time for the phone to ring. That's a surprise. Is I was talking about people that make these dolls that were made out of, I think they were like a yarn doll. I never made them, but I've talked about this before, how they're probably the prototype to these tassels. So you have to try that. If anybody else still makes those, let me know, because I bet you that's a great way to make these little tassel-y things. All right, so I have 2, 4. I'm going to pull this other thing apart just so it's a little bit thicker. I do think you probably need more than just the 2. Even though we are winding them together, pull this one off. And then we'll use these because I think it gives a little bit more of kind of like that tassel feel. Sales are early in the summer for school supplies, Karen. That is totally true. But the funny part is I have so much stuff that I have from last year and I have it, I actually know where it is, which is impressive in itself. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to do a 3-finger wrap. I did use more this time, so I think I got a better a better tassel. Looks like it's got a little bit more size to it. Oops, that's too small. Don't want it that small. Spread that back out. So I have the one, and then what I'm going to do is, again, I kind of tied this, and I'm kind of halfway, oops, hold on, I lost that. I'm coming right down from the knot and I'm halfway looping this through just to pull through. Oh gosh, well, there it went again. With your blends, I know, isn't it great? What a great way to keep your blends organized, because it's funny, I have mine organized so they're in, I guess like color groupings. So like I have all the purples together, even if they're retired, because I still use them. Because I do. And like the yellows are all together, but I do kind of keep the in colors a little bit more separate. Oh, this looks definitely a little bit more like a tassel. And I'm just going to go through here and just trim the little loops out. But sometimes if you can't quite tell if something, especially when you get to some of the darker colors, like is it navy, is it black, which gray is it? It's really nice to have those written there. And I'm going to just do the same thing again. I'm just trimming. This kind of looks, oh, this looks way better of a tassel than the other one. This looks like a lame tassel. I'm going to have to make another one. So I'm actually going to put this one on with a couple glue dots. And one other thing I want to tell you is you might notice, I'm going to grab one more for the knot part. This one here that I did, I actually must have gotten a little bit, I don't want to say frustrated by the fact of where the things were. Oh, that looks like a way better tassel. This one is like, yeah, I guess you graduated. I think I glued this down because it's spread out a little bit more. I almost like this one better because it's just a little bit more loose, so it kind of looks more like a loose tassel. This one's going to need a redo. I'm going to tell you that straight off. All right, let me just press this a little bit more because for some reason it's not wanting to. Now, granted, that other one was in a bag for 2 years. 2 years ago was when I made this video, which is kind of funny, but it does do a little pop-up, which is cute. So this one I'm going to have to redo this lame old tassel. I'm going to pull it off now because if I actually sent that to somebody with that little stinky tassel in there, I would be embarrassed. So I do have plenty more white. You know, they are always putting these little white strips in with the paper pumpkin. So they're getting used today, so I can make a whole bunch of these and have them ready. But definitely I think unwinding the tassel or the baker's twine and rewrapping it is probably a better way to go. So I will do this one over again, but adorably cute. Again, you could totally make these to whatever color scheme you wanted to do. A grandkid has your nice congratulations, proud of you. I did share several other stamp sets that you could use in place in case you don't happen to have that, but I think these are really cute. Again, you can make 2 of them out of one piece of cardstock, one full piece of cardstock, which is also very economical for the money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want a good laugh, all you have to do is go and search, and I'll see if I can link it into this one when I'm finished today. But if you go and search for the graduation fun fold card, that's what this original one was located under, and it was pretty funny if you need like a good laugh for the day anyway. So I'm just going to scroll through the comments really quickly before we disconnect to make sure I didn't miss any questions. But I want to thank you all so very much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are. If you are out there in the hot areas, I hope you are keeping cool. Maybe having some ice cream, or maybe you have a neighbor who you can share their pool with or something. You can't blame him for trying. That's funny. Christian is always ready for like some sort of a money earning party, even though all of his money goes into a savings account. And if he gets $20, he's like thrilled with it, which is hilarious. But make them into angel ornaments. That's probably what some people did. You either did the dolls or those little angels. So my kids were deprived. We picked through what was good and used. Same here. Same here, Karen. I mean, I didn't get new stuff when I was growing up. And some of his stuff, I'm like, well, these pencils are fine. If you have an eraser, we'll sharpen it. And if not, I even have a bag of erasers that he loves putting those extra toppers on there. So we just sharpen them up. Pretty much use them until they're almost the size of golf pencils. One day it was kind of funny. He came home. He's like, yeah, I'm not allowed to use these pencils anymore. It was this big. And I thought, yes, buddy, you definitely got your money out of that pencil. It does not owe us anything at all. Which is kind of hilarious. Oh, and crayons. That's super cool. That's a great idea. You know, it's funny. I think I forgot to share this with you guys because school was so busy. But one of the students in my preschool class, his mom, collected a whole bunch of small crayons, and she melted them all into hearts and gave them out to all the kids. I'm pretty sure it was for Valentine's Day. And so they got this heart-shaped multicolor crayon. I thought that was such a cute idea. Now, granted, you would definitely need time and patience to be able to do that, but what a fun use for your crayons, right? Went from blunt scissors to new pointed scissors when I went into 4th grade. They did say this year that they needed to have pointed scissors. So I guess since we're moving into 3rd grade, now we get pointed scissors. That was our upgrade. All right, well, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll try to post the pictures to this blog post later with all of these when I fix my little sad-looking tassel that I removed. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on a whim. I do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you so much for watching.